Very good. Now, this third round is about actors. After weeks of being pointedly ignored on tour by Sir John Gielgud, Clive Morton, the character actor, plucked up the courage to knock on his dressing room door. Gielgud opened it. "Thank God it's you," he said. "For one dreadful moment, I thought it was going to be that ghastly bore, Clive Morton." Now, why, Hugh? Yes? Why does the actor Edward Woodward have 4 Ds in his name?
No, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm sorry, it was a spasm.
You can't do that.
I'll put it out. Just carry on.
Did you know? This
Forget
is
I'm
quite
here.
interesting.
Yes, good. That's what we're here for.
Did you know?
Very good.
Kiwi fruit uses more than its own weight in aviation fuel to get from New Zealand to Europe.
Very good. 5 points. Wonderful. Another 5 points. It sounds mad, but is it, of course, true, absolutely.
And regarding the Edward Woodward...
Yes?
That's how you spell
Oh,
it.
no, let Hugh get it.
No, really, that's fine. I was going to say exactly that it's got that many D's in it because that's his name. If you took the D's out, it would be a different name.
And what name would it be? Exactly, it'd be Iwa-woo-woo. Yeah. It's a sort of structural device, like a joist, which stops his name collapsing into the sort of spongy mass of Iwa-woo-woo.
You're mentioning Edward Woodward, and before that we mentioned John Gielgud. John Gielgud, when he first heard the name Edward Woodward, said, "This is an interesting name. It sounds like a fart in the bath."
It does. Very good. Describe either James Bond's Bradford or his Vesper.
Well, is James Bond's Bradford a bit like, is it James Hewitt as Yorkshire, or Thomas Hardy's Wessex? They're just rebranding it. So in describing James
Harriet,
Bond...
James Hewitt.
Yeah, sorry,
James Hewitt Spencer.
I sense I got it wrong there, but I
couldn't quite put your finger on it.
Is it an item of clothing or a briefcase or a pair of shoes?
No, that's closer than
anything I said.
It's closer than the city in Yorkshire, certainly. Oh,
is it?
What is he almost best known for?
Martinis.
Yes.
Ian Fleming worked in naval intelligence during the war.
He did. He did indeed.
Is that interesting enough?
Pretty well known, though, isn't it, dear?
Yeah.
Really. Sorry, did I call you dear just then? Yeah. Sorry. So sorry. How that happened. I do apologise. It's in fact the official name for a martini that is shaken and not stirred. Most martinis are stirred, but when it's shaken, it's called a Bradford. They're very specific names. If you put 2 olives on a stick, it's called a Franklin, after Franklin Roosevelt.
Yes.
If you put a cocktail onion on the stick, it's called a...
It's called a cocktail onion on a stick.
Oh.
Well, obviously it's called something.
Yes, it's called the Gibson, yes. But in fact, because the Bradford contains 3 measures of Gordon's, 1 measure of an extraordinary sort of vermouth called Quina Lillet. It says, when you look at it, I'm sure it must be pronounced Lillet, I suppose. I mean, you put a Lillet in there, you wouldn't have any drink there.
Why would you... If someone said offered me a drink called a Bradford, I'd assume it's like vodka and a rasher of streaky bacon sticking out the top of it.
Maybe a pork pie on a knitting needle, something like that.
Well, is there an official place for those names? I mean, why is a rusty nail called a rusty nail and all the Collins family have drinks named after? Is there a clearinghouse for these?
There are histories of this. I mean, the first Bloody Mary was actually was in St Regis Hotel in New York and was actually called a Red Snapper, which is rather a good name.
It's fish, though.
In Australia, they call
a Red Snapper.
They call a Virgin Mary. They call a Bloody Shame, which is rather good.
They're all very good.
All kinds of good names.
I'll have a bloody
I mean, of course, cocktails developed during Prohibition because the bathtub gin was so notoriously gut-rotting and tasted so dreadful that all kinds of additions were made to it. But Bond insisted on a shot of vodka, so he had it's usually 6 to 1, 6 gin to 1 of vermouth or vermouth, whichever you prefer, and he added this vodka, which makes it strictly not a martini, so Bond actually gave his own name, which was a Vesper. There's a rather good phrase in one of the Bond books, to Bond, the best drink of the day was the drink he had in his head before the first drink of the day. Rather good, isn't it? We sort of know
I don't really
how
like
he feels.
James Bond.
No, he's cruel. He's a cruel man.
No, I don't think I'd like him. If I met him, I think I'd think he's a bit of a prat.
Yes.
I'm doing your zip with my magnet.
Yes. No, Alan, you should read the books.
I don't have time to read the books. I haven't read all yours yet.
Well, no, that's...
nobody's done
Read
that.
Fleming first. Read Fleming first. Yeah, they're awfully good. They really are. Well, chapter Casino Royale begins, Bond lit his 80th cigarette of the day. Now, how can you dislike a man? I mean, that's... It's full of interesting stuff. For instance, Bond has these strange ideas. He has this idea that homosexuals can't whistle, for example. Because I think in Russia with Love.
Mouth.
Yeah. I want you to go and stand in the corner.
You just put your lips together and blow.
I've had a blowjob,
You can easily say the word Wimbledon. Yeah.
which is a cocktail. And you get it in a shooter glass, and it's got something like Drambuie or Bailey's or something in it.
Oh, how sophisticated.
And then it's got...
Just a hint of
and then it's got whipped cream out of a can on the top of it. And you get it put on the counter like that, and you're not allowed to use your hands to drink it. Hence, it's because someone grown it up. So you have to put your hands behind your back and go like that. And
I've never been to Essex. Anyway. What are atoms mostly made of?
well, they are not most. They are just made of the thing that they are. In that they are not combined with other atoms. They are alone. Therefore, they are just an atom.
It's not exactly a trick question, but they're mostly made of nothing by a very, very long way. Even the atom of stone or diamond is more nothing than it is anything solid.
It's like a tiny, really small little piece of nothing. Does it have protons and electrons, or is that a molecule?
You're right, no. Protons and neutrons in the middle, there, which is the nucleus, and then the electron, which whizzes round the outside.
remember that from physics.
Yeah. An atom, in fact, is much, much emptier, relatively speaking, than the whole solar system. Ernest Rutherford, the first man to describe the inside of an atom, likened it to a few flies in a cathedral. That's what those little particles are inside the atom. The simplest element in the universe is hydrogen. It has a nucleus of just one proton, around which orbits a single electron. Now, if the proton were the size of a drawing pin, the electron would be the size of a pinhead, and it would be 1 kilometre away.
Yeah, but if I were to put a pineapple on my head, I'd look like Carmen Miranda, but I don't.
I don't think you quite entered into the spirit.
Well, they're really hard to divide up into more than one part.
Yes, because the word means that. It means no cut.
Can't split.
Tom, yes. I think it's tomeo is the Greek for I cut, and as in appendectomy, to cut the appendix and so on. And the rather wonderful English word tmesis, which, as far as I know, is the only English word that begins with the letters T-M, T-M-E-S-I-S, which is rather wonderful. Which is that when you cut a word in half by putting another word inside, like saying absubliminlutely or sensational or something like that. Tmesis. Or Scunthorpe, thank you very much. What begins with A has 6 C's and no B's. Clive.
Is it the Welsh alphabet? How many guessing? You haven't mentioned the L's, which are there.
No L's mentioned. That would be the clincher.
No B's.
No B's as in...
No B's like that.
Or...
So...
Is it 6 C's as in the ocean?
6 C's. 6 C's. With A.
It's America. There are no states in America beginning with B, and then there are 6 C's. There must be California, there are 2 Carolinas, Connecticut. I think there are 6. So I think I've come up with the right, though possibly also wrong answer. But I'm terrifically pleased with it. I don't care if I get any points or not.
No, you don't get points, but you certainly get the admiration of us all.
I'm not feeling admiration.
You were better at it, but on the other hand, let's turn our attention to the question.
Antarctica.
Brilliant, thank you very much. It is the right answer. Antarctica.
Oh, see?
Quite right.
Well, I think I'm right. I'm not accepting this.
But that's not strictly true, is it? Because, of course, you have the Antarctican ice bee.
you did, then the question would be meaningless.
Yes.
I wouldn't put it beyond you to go now to Antarctica with a bee in a matchbox. Just so you would get a point. Bee and a honeybee. You worked out the thrust of the question.
Yes.
Bees as in buzz, 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 and seas as in oceans. It is bordered by the Ross Sea, the Davis Sea, the Weddell Sea, the Bellinghausen Sea, the Lazarev Sea, and the Amundsen Sea. But not one, as I say, not one little member of the 92,000 hymenopteral bees and wasps exists or has its being in Antarctica.
The what bees?
They form part of the group Hymenoptera.
Hymen?
Hymen, it means wedding in Greek, and there was a myth about the bees officiating at the wedding of Zeus, which I told you about a few weeks ago, and I remember you being very bored by it then. I'm disappointed that you haven't remembered.
The bees in charge of a wedding?
They catered for the wedding.
What?
How they came
Mainly
up with
honey-based,
They came up with honey. They invented honey specifically for it. What did the ancient Greeks use blackberries for?
Tarts, pies, and occasionally a nice salad.
Is it to do with health or beauty?
It is to do with health, not really beauty. I think we'd be pushing it, but health.
They used to push them up their backside.
Yes.
Comfort them from the radish. When the radish came in, the blackberries would cushion the blow.
It's sort of almost true, because they used it as a specific against piles. And I dare say, having a few radishes hammered up, you would probably induce piles. Now, 1 in 10 ancient Athenians did it regularly until the Macedonians put a stop to it in 322 BC. What am I talking about? They're not doing it there, incidentally, in
That's
that
not a
picture
clue.
behind.
They pay their utilities bills by direct debit.
Would you recommend the direct debit route?
It takes the hassle out of it,
Does
Stephen.
it?
Does the hassle out of it.
You can't put a price on peace of mind. So, what do Greeks...
Is it
What did they do?
Greek or something that a
Something Greeks
Macedonian
invented,
might
something
have
we do. Something we do.
We do it?
Something we do.
Oh, elections.
They voted. They voted for all their chieftains, all their leaders, all their wise men. They voted for their justice at the Areopagitica, and a democracy was born. It was snatched crudely away from them by the Macedonians. Invented, though, in ancient Greece.
Speaking of crudely...
Lasted only 180 years.
Pinto.
The Greeks regarded small testicles as rather artistic.
I'm a man out of his time.
You get 5 points for being British. Only 10% of the population ever had the vote. Greek women had to wait another 2,274 years until they finally got theirs in 1952. What rhymes with purple?
Ah. It's like orange, nothing does.
Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. Oh, dear. No, there are 2 words in the English language that rhyme with purple. 2.
Burple.
I won't say everyday words, but there are 2 words. Now, I'm afraid you have to lose 10 points there.
That's okay.
I'll tell you the answer.
Lurple.
Tent.
You won't get there. If you go through all the sounds known to man, you won't get there.
Whirple,
Maple
yerple, zerple.
Maple circle doesn't count.
Circle. Derple, furple, gurple, herple. Derple, curple, lurple, murple, nurple.
Do you know what you're doing on national television? Mrs. Davis's little boy has grown up to go nurple, purple,
Rurple, surple.
They're not common words, but...
If you had a swimming pool and you covered it in fur, it'd be a fur pool.
Furple.
It would. I'll tell you the answer. It's herple is one word.
I think I said
You did. 5 points, Daniel. 5 points, but 5 points taken away if you also mentioned any other sound. To herple is to hobble along with one leg dragging behind the other, halfway between a walk and a crawl. The other word, of course, you could have had was curple.
I think you'll find out.
But didn't I say I'd take 10 points away if there was a second one that you'd already said?
Yes.
Yes, but I'm going to take that back. I'm not going to. Curple is the leather strap passing under a horse's tail.
Tail. Under the
Buckled.
tail of a horse.
Is buckled to the saddle to stop it slipping forwards. It's better known as a cropper. It's also curple. It's the rump or hindquarters of a horse. Now known as an I'm an idiot. Or now known as the croup. The word appears in a rhyme in the work of Scotland's national poet, and I shall give it to you. Aby mer vonti o my hap, dus hinging o'er my kirple, than ony ermine ever lap, o proud imperial purple. Now, Sean, in 1913, the world long jump champion was an Englishman who could leap backwards from the floor onto a mantelpiece without losing his balance. What interesting position was he offered after the First World War? There he is.
But he's
Playing
cricket
cricket.
then.
Uh,
He was an extraordinary sportsman.
He could, what, when you said he could leap
He could leap backwards from a stationary position onto a mantelpiece. Just leap. He was described by John Arlott as the most very talented Englishman ever born.
And how
He
did
was captained England and Surrey for cricket. He appeared in a FA Cup final. He had the world long jump record.
This isn't your relative, is it?
It is C.B. Fry, yes.
What I want to know is, how did he discover he could do that?
I suppose he in phases.
How did you find out you can do that? You can just be standing in front of the fireplace and go... Is it a really boring party? Lord Delphont was checking for a turn for a canapé. Whoop, I'm out of it.
Maybe there was a rattlesnake on the floor or something like that.
Well, he was quite...
Somebody came in looking for a cocktail and said, I fancy a blowjob, and he would have...
No, he was a Fry. He would have welcomed it.
Just putting himself in a better position.
Charles Burgess Fry, C.B. Fry, the greatest all-rounder the country's ever produced. What extraordinary position was he offered after the First World War?
And also,
Chest of drawers?
was that a mantelpiece with or without ornaments? Someone had a big tank of tropical fish.
Yeah.
Competitive mantelpiece leaping, you just clear it. Yeah, you move most of the stuff off it.
Maybe he was on the mantelpiece, lost his balance, and thought, I must get back up before anyone's noticed.
Lost his balance, fell on the sofa, bounced back up.
Yeah. Then why me? Did you just jump backwards onto that mantelpiece?
Or was it one of these sports we play?
It's a very old English pursuit, jumping backwards.
Yes.
And there's a famous canal jumper from the Black Country, someone like Jack Darby, and he could leap 32 foot across a canal from a standing jump. There's a statue of him on one of the canals. And the way he did it was weights. He had 2 weights in his arms, and he'd swing them like that, and then throw them, and they'd take him across, and he'd go to the other side. And his name was something like Jack Darby, and he died in the 30s. He died in the canal. He could also, he had the world...
The statues of the bottom of the commemorative stone.
I think he had the world jumping backwards record, 13 foot.
Oh, there you are. Well, there you are. You see, it means something. Well, C.B. Fry, to bring us back to Charles Burgess.
I was thinking, did he not feel, you know, once he'd done the mantelpiece thing and everyone went, wow, that's fantastic.
Yes.
Right, that is so brilliant. After that, you think it maybe started to pall a bit. They think, oh, he's doing the mantelpiece thing again. Like,
it's the thing he did, probably... It was just a party piece he did 3 or 4 times. It wasn't enough that he headed the class list at Oxford. He had the world long jump record. He played in an FA Cup final, captained England and headed England batting averages for 4 years in succession, spoke 5 languages. And what was this extraordinary position?
Well, he's obviously a member of the Fry family.
Well, that is extraordinary enough.
So he was quizmaster on a panel game.
No, I would tell you.
He was the position by a governmental thing?
By the most governmental thing that existed after the First World War.
League of Nations.
The League of Nations.
So he was head of the League of Nations.
No, he was
referee. He refereed the playoffs for the League of Nations.
Lord
President of the
No,
League of
more
Nations.
important.
King of the League of Nations.
No, not of the League of Nations. One of the nations within the League of Nations.
Oh, he was king of Albania.
It was offered the throne of Albania.
Yes.
There you are. Finally, we got that. Well
he
done.
said, I don't want the throne, just give me the mantelpiece.
Well, look, stop. I wish I never mentioned the bloody man.
How high is it?
It was just one of the many things he could do. All right, let's not refine on it. Let's not make it too big a deal. He did it once or twice. The reason he was offered it was his great friend was Prince Ranjit Singhji. Together, he and Fry dominated the cricketing world. It was known as the golden age of cricket, still is. And Prince Ranjit Singhji was an important officer in the League of Nations when it was founded. And he brought Fry along as a speechwriter to the League of Nations. And they met the Albanian delegation, which was rather unhappy because the King of Albania had been deposed and run away. And so they offered Fry the throne, and he accepted. But his friend Hilaire Belloc, the poet, said no. He said, don't accept it. He said, all you need is a cellar full of wine and the society of those who love you. Turn it down. So he did. What's invisible and travels at 38 miles an hour?
Cashier number 4, please.
I think is it the air that we expel from our nasal passages?
It isn't that, I'm sorry to say.
38 miles an hour and it's invisible.
Yes.
Got to be a ghost on a moped, or a stealth Skoda, or a Virgin train.
Hey, no.
Is it... All right, OK. Is it a wind, like, you know, the Sirocco or the Mistral or something like that?
One of those winds. It's not one of those. This is something that often travels a great deal faster, but it has been recorded as travelling at 38 miles an hour. You could overtake it freewheeling on a bicycle.
A fart.
It usually goes much, much faster. I mean, really fast.
How fast is a fart, though?
No, well, no, please. That's not very high. No.
Well, no, because they've measured how fast you sneeze is.
Well, they've measured maximum speeds of...
no one's ever measured how fast
well,
we
that's so
expel
varied, aren't
gas.
there, as we know.
Do you wonder why?
Yeah.
You're working in laboratory conditions all day. There's Bunsen burners around.
Exactly.
You could fart and someone could be on the other side of the lab with a stopwatch, and they could go, yes, it's here.
Very good.
Is it
Can I drag this
38
above
miles
the
an
level?
hour, I estimate.
Can I drag this above the level and they think this is all over or whatever it is?
Is it a tidal wave? A tsunami?
No, something goes even faster. What's the fastest thing you can think of?
Light.
Light is the right answer.
Is it?
Absolutely right. Light usually, as you probably know...
186,000 miles a second.
Very good. I'll give you a few points for that. That's quite correct.
Oh,
Light...
so wait a minute. Someone slowed it down, didn't they?
Yeah.
They
Do you remember how?
No, well, was
So
it...
they could get into bed
ice
before the
or
light
something?
went out.
They put it...
That's the only reason there is physics.
Top work. No, you're quite right.
They put a laser light through, I don't know, ice, glass, something like that, frosty.
Even closer, much colder than that. Much colder.
Fridge.
No, really cold. You're talking colder than
England.
Frozen
so cold.
vodka.
So much colder than that.
Blackpool.
You're all doing well. Now, astoundingly, light is, first, invisible. You can't see it, only what bumps into it or it bumps into. If you could see it, you wouldn't be able to see anything else. It's often said that the speed of light is constant, but it isn't, only in a vacuum when it is 186,000 miles a second. In any other medium, the speed of light varies considerably. As a matter of fact, through diamonds, for example, it goes less than half as fast, 80,000 miles per second.
Is that because it's going, woo?
Yeah, exactly.
This is the hardest thing.
But the slowest it's ever been recorded at is through sodium at minus 270 degrees, where it travels at 38 miles per hour. Who discovered Australia?
James Cook.
Oh, Joe, I'm so sorry. No, apart from the Aborigines, it was the Chinese who reached it as early as 1432. When Cook arrived, James Cook in 1770, not only was he not first, he wasn't a captain either. He was Lieutenant Cook, and nor was he the first European. The Dutch had got there 150 years before that. Nor was he even the first Englishman, who was William Dampier in 1688.
What's wrong with the Chinese and the Dutch?
The Dutch have discovered almost everything first, but they just thought of as being people, homosexuals who smoke joints. Actually, there's a lot more to them than that. A lot more to the Dutch.
But what is it with the Chinese that they went round really early on and then never went anywhere, just stayed at home and bred ferociously?
We're wandering happily around the globe, and this is a good thing, but I'll just return us to Australia. It has, of course, been inhabited by Aborigines for at least 40,000 years, possibly as many as 60,000. So if anyone gets the credit, it should be them. But what nationality were the original Aborigines? Yes?
They came across a land bridge which was later separated by shifting of tectonic plates.
Well,
so they will have come from Southeast Asia, probably. So I would say they were Chinese.
I know what you think. It's certainly true, isn't it? Australia was connected.
Separated, which is why
Yes.
they have marsupials. And why they have all their own brands of lager.
Exactly. I want you to think not Australian. The first Aboriginals were not Australian or anything to do with Australia. Where was the term Aborigine first used for peoples?
Was it in the Isle of Wight?
A wild stab. It could so easily have been right. No, it wasn't.
It's the word for the indigenous population.
The origin, yes. The original Aborigines lived in the part of Italy where Rome now stands. And they were called Aborigines. And so it's for some reason has stuck most with the Aboriginal Australasians, but there are Aboriginal Canadians. You could call the American Indians or Native Americans, you could call them Aboriginals if you wanted.
You could. But it was more fun to call them Redskins.
Yes. I wouldn't try it, though, in America. No. You'd have your balls turned into a small purse. We're doing very well. Now, what does...
A very big purse, I think you're...
What am I thinking
and
of?
have my balls turn into a rucksack.
How many wives did Henry VIII have?
Cashier number 4, please.
6. The 6 wives of Henry VIII.
Just because other people have made the mistake, it's no excuse for you to make it too.
He had 6 wives.
He had major commitment problems, didn't he? I imagine every time he said, "Oh, it's not you, it's me." I suppose they had a trial separation, which involved a brief trial and a very major separation.
Of head from shoulders, exactly right.
It must have been very difficult for the new woman in his life each time. She'd say, "Oh, I don't know, Henry. Everywhere I look, I just see her face because it's on a pole."
Absolutely no. Yes.
Can I just say something interesting about
Please
Henry
do.
VIII?
Yes.
Right, when he died and his body was moved from Greenwich up to wherever it went, Selfridges or somewhere.
Maybe Westminster Abbey. We'll check on that.
Maybe Westminster Abbey, possibly Kentucky Fried Chicken. I don't know. But his guts were so rotten and it was such a hot day that his stomach exploded.
Oh, what a
Isn't that a nice
thought.
image?
Yes, he was syphilitic and he was huge and he was a mess of a man.
He sounds
by that
bloody
time.
gorgeous.
As a young man, he was. As a young man, he was considered one of the most attractive men in all of Renaissance Europe. He was much admired.
I prefer
athletic, musical,
and
poetic.
bloated myself.
Yes, he did get a bit bloated. I can't understand people who do. No, yes, it's an interesting fact. The real answer is 3 or 4. Henry's 4th marriage to Anne of Cleves was annulled on 2 grounds. It was never consummated, and she was already betrothed to Francis, Duke of Lorraine. This was correct in law at the time, and all parties agreed that no legal marriage had ever taken place. That leaves 5 wives. The Pope declared Henry's 2nd marriage to Anne Boleyn void because Henry was still married to his first wife, Catherine of Aragon. And the king himself, as head of the new Church of England, declared that his first marriage was invalid on the correct legal ground that a man could not marry his brother's wife, and Catherine Aragon had been married to his brother Arthur.
Did he or did he not have 6 weddings?
Yes, he did, but that wasn't the question I asked.
And did he say, "This is my wife"? 6 different people. 6 different mothers-in-law all said of him, "He is my bloated syphilitic son-in-law."
But by his 2nd marriage, he said he'd never been married because he'd never had a wife, because his first wife he could not be married
What
to.
about all the family saying, "Yes, you did, we were there"?
We were there at the wedding, but we never
We heard the
legally.
speeches, they'd wake up in the morning dead, wouldn't they?
But there was no legal spousal status. That's the point we're trying to make. But of
How
course,
many toast racks did he have?
that's the way. Count the toast racks, and
Now,
you'll find out.
can I ask a question about that painting?
Yes.
Is it all wrong in perspective? It looks 2D to me.
All Holbein's pictures are a bit flat.
They
'Cause
are.
He did one of Martin Luther, and it's very flat.
Yes.
It's like a pancake. Or
Though he could certainly do perspective tricks because he did a marvellous one, which you have to see from below, didn't you? We may find a picture.
Oh yeah,
of
that's
it one
what
day.
he said after he bollocks it up. You have to see it from below.
It was very...
Holbein's really
It was
made a
sort of
crap job
elongated
of it.
skulls and things, and then when you move underneath it, the foreshortening effect of actually being under the painting, it suddenly becomes exactly the right proportion.
Michelangelo painted the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel.
Good Lord, you are extraordinary. How do you do these things?
It took 4 years.
Yeah.
Which is the same length of time it takes to paint the Forth Bridge in Scotland.
You're struggling towards being interesting. may have to give you 2 points. Does anyone remember there's a wonderful line in that film, The Agony and the Ecstasy, which is about where Charlton Heston plays Michelangelo and Rex Harrison
Charlton
plays...
Heston plays Michelangelo?
Yes.
Yeah, the effete Italian homosexual.
Yeah, that's the one.
Played
He
by
was
the
never
president
effete.
of the gun club.
He was an athletic Italian homosexual.
I thought he was a wussy one.
He may well have preferred man-on-man action. That doesn't mean he was Juliet Clary. He could have been butch like me.
When I say wussy one, I don't mean he was gay. I mean he was a bit of a...
No.
I thought
You've got it the other way round.
I thought Da Vinci was the hard case.
No, Michelangelo was an animal. He was physical.
Michelangelo was.
Strong,
He never washed.
Very strong.
He
That's
stank.
right. Beard and
Alan Yentob said this.
But he preferred to take it up with Gary Glitter. Now, depending on whether you believe the Pope or indeed the King or both of them together, Henry VIII, therefore, had...